What's up, everybody? This is Salama from MadeGains. And when it comes to building the body of your dreams, most people stop at what you see around here, right? They kind of get something going, get something established. They might even build a little bit, and then they stop, right? They stop way short of the end goal and the final product. So what I want to talk about today is motivation and consistency. But first, I want to say what this is not going to be, right? This is not going to be a motivational speech or a bunch of rah-rah hype man stuff. I'm going to share 4 key points with you from exercise psychology about motivation and where we as individuals derive our motivation, how we can identify where it's located or where it's coming from, and how we can intensify it. So the first thing we're going to look at is your why, right? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you want to drop the body fat? Why do you want to build muscle? Why do you want to get bigger and stronger? Why is it that you want to get into fitness in the first place? Maybe you were getting bullied at school. Now you want to get big and strong to make sure that never happens again. Or maybe you're getting fat shamed and now you want to drop the weight to make sure that never happens again. Or maybe the doctor told you that if you don't start exercising and eating properly, you are going to die. Having a strong why is going to be one of the main reasons that you're going to be able to stay motivated. So number 2 is to have a diverse set of goals. And by diverse, I mean to have not only outcome goals, but to also have process goals and performance goals. This is the problem with most people, is that they only have outcome goals. And an example of an outcome goal is, I want to drop 20 pounds of fat, or I want to put on 10 pounds of muscle. These are outcomes, and which in a lot of ways, you don't have full control over. How your body is going to respond and how your body adapts is going to be different for every person. It might take you a little longer. You might be able to do it a little faster. And a lot of times, these are long-term goals. These are 6-month goals, 1-year goals, or multiple-year goals. It can be very discouraging if these are the only goals that you have. So you want to incorporate process goals, right? An example of a process goal is I want to lift weights 3 times a week, or I want to go to my exercise or my group exercise class 3 times a week, or walk around the block 3 times a week. These are process goals. You're tying your goals into your process, and that is something you have full control over. This is something that you can do week to week and accomplish those mini goals to really increase your motivation and increase your confidence. The more you're able to hit those smaller goals, the more your long-term goals are more likely to come to fruition. Number 3 is your goal orientation. And what I mean by this is, are you task involved or are you ego involved? Somebody that's task involved is somebody that gauges their performance based on previous ability. Am I better today than I was yesterday? This is a very much like a me versus me mentality, right? This is like the guy who has his logbook and all he cares about is doing better in the gym today than he did last time. This is really like an intrinsic motivation. Your motivation in this case is coming from within. On the other hand, you could be ego involved, right? People who are ego involved, they get a sense of improvement based on a comparison to the performance of others, right? So depending how they do compared to other people's performance, that's how they kind of gauge if they're making an improvement or not. An example of this is someone who is in a group exercise class and they're getting tired, they want to quit, but they look around and see other people, killing it, going hard, and they want to match that. They want to beat that. Before, they couldn't keep up, but now they're able to keep up a little more, right? Now they're able to do more than the other people. That's kind of how they gauge their performance. These people are getting their motivation extrinsically. Their motivation is coming from the outside. These are the type of people who do better in a group exercise session or in a team sport instead of an individual sport, because they feed off the environment. So the key is to understand which of the two more represents you, right? Are you more task-oriented, where your main concern is doing better today than you did yesterday? Then you might be the person who can train by yourself, and you want to focus more on things like logbooks and training calendars where you could see your progress day to day. Or are you more of the ego-oriented type, where you just do better in a group session, right? You need to be somewhere where you can compare yourself to other people. You need to be in a more social setting or more of a group setting. So the 4th and final thing is to set up some sort of accountability system, right? Whether you have a group of friends with similar goals where you guys check in with each other to make sure you're all on track. Another thing you can do is to hire a trainer, right? You don't necessarily have to have them in the gym with you 3 times a week, because that can be expensive. Not everybody can afford that, but you can have them check in with you once a week, right? Once a week, you guys can text message and email, and maybe once a month, you guys can do like a Skype session. Another example of this would be taking pictures of all your meals, right? Have a friend that you exchange pictures with of all the meals that you guys eat. If you're eating good, healthy foods, you take a picture of that, you send it to your friend, they see what's going on. You can encourage and motivate each other that way. If you want to go to McDonald's and eat a bunch of crap, you know you have to take a picture of that Big Mac and those fries and send it to your friend. Your friend's gonna see that and be like, what are you doing? Like, this is not part of the program. This is not gonna help you. You know, you're messing up. And this is sort of how you guys keep each other motivated. You're not gonna wanna take a picture of something that you're not gonna be proud of. If you can incorporate some sort of reward or punishment along with this accountability system, then you really have a high chance of succeeding. So an example of this is, say for the next month, you wanna be extremely focused and extremely dedicated. 4 weeks in that month, so what do? You take $400, give it to a friend. If I hit all my heavy weightlifting sessions this week and I eat properly, give me $100 back per week. So week after week, you do what you're supposed to do, here's $100 back. Here's $100 back until you get your full 400 back. But if you slack off on a lifting session, or, you know, if you're not sending him pictures of good, clean, healthy food and he knows you've been slacking off, you're not getting your $100 back. So now there's this fear of loss. You can't always motivate yourself for some sort of benefit. Sometimes it's a fear of loss that's going to motivate you. So to wrap up, self-discipline is overrated, okay? You don't want to depend on self-discipline all the time to make continuous progress. It can be tiring, it can be exhausting, and it runs out. What you want to do is get a better understanding of yourself, what it is that motivates you, what naturally drives you, and use that. That way it'll feel like you're swimming with the current instead of against it. So keep making progress, stay motivated, stay consistent, you know, don't get stuck halfway, and, you know, build the body you've always wanted. As always, comment, like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.